guessing this one is the video we're talking about?
The first time I saw the concept of the Syulen, I immediately went over to Ben Curtis and asked him if I could make it.
I like it. It looks like a ghost from Destiny. I like the design of it from what I've seen.
Michael Oberschneider did the Raylan, and I scouted a lot in his old sketches and the first phase of the ship, and I found pretty
I
nice
can't imagine a cooler job than just getting to design fucking
triangle
spaceships in Star
and that's
Citizen.
where we started from.
We really wanted to have this feeling of grandeur. It's a relatively small ship, but all its kind of stylings and its shape, language, and forms really
I kind of want to just
make it.
Kind of want to go to school and figure out how to do it.
And so we really tried to kind of push that.
Because the thing with Star Citizen ships is it's not like a 2D image made to look 3D. Like you have to design the outside, the inside, and everything has to make sense. It's so fucking cool, bro. There's just so much like in depth to it. Oh, so it sits up like that. I thought it was going to be like a floating kind of thing.
Syulen is Gatac's introduction to the civilian space market with a essentially starter ship from an alien race.
It's kind of really defining.
Yeah, I was just thinking that because you kind of have to land backwards by the looks of it.
Everything any player needs to take their first steps in the universe. It can carry cargo. It's got onboard living quarters and a good selection of weaponry for a starter to.
Oh, it is a starter.
When you get out into hostile space.
Yeah,
when the player first sees the Syulen, we really wanted it to feel kind of just super imposing. It's got this amazing stance where it's kind of towering above you.
3 size 3 guns,
monolithic structure
2
that
size,
will appear in your hangar,
2 size 1 shields. That's not too bad.
It's very dominating.
What the fuck?
Sith-like, dare I say it?
Some cunt T-posing in the back.
Vertical design,
that looks nuts,
looks
bro.
Completely different to any other starter ship that we've brought out before.
That literally makes me sexually aroused.
Very deliberate with all of its forms and shapes, but then when it comes to its mechanical structure...
You know what it kind of reminds me of, though, with the glass up like that? It kind of reminds me of one of those ball things with the, like, electricity inside. You touch it and your hair sticks out. I don't know why. That's the first thing that came to my mind.
It's very high-end, but exposed almost, more like Drake. So you'll see all the mechanisms, all the inner workings.
So clean,
As you approach the interior of the ship, you'll notice a little button on the side. You press that, and the wall of the exterior will cascade down into a set of stairs.
Yeah.
Greeted by like this crazy gravity.
I'm not a fan of those like floating stairs, but it still looks cool.
Fractures and spreads out. Something rooted in the Xi'an lore about their trivial use of Gravlev tech, and just to be able to see it like sort of do something crazy that we can't do with most.
That looks fucking really nice,
cool.
bro.
As you enter the ship, you'll be in what we call the airlock or the ground floor, kind of like an engineering space. All the walls feel quite sleek.
This is put down as a starter ship, right?
The place because of the rock materials that you've got going on that feel very alien when you walk onto a spaceship.
All of the walls, the panels fly out, separate, and reveal these crazy big component bays, an armor locker, and also a really cool weapon rack that using that cool grav tech we spoke about. In between 2 of those component bays, you'll notice the lift embedded into the floor. It's got a really cool glass floor to it, and you'll notice a nice hover plate of Xi'an text, which we've kindly translated into English for you.
We wanted it to feel
like fuck you! I want to learn I'm gonna learn the language.
And human. That was kind of like a design ethos we had. So you'll go on the elevator, which features both.
So once you use the lift to enter the habitation deck, you'll notice a really nice small space, quite simplistic, but that's kind of like how the Xi'an like it.
The Xi'an are very close to nature. We wanted
I like that rock look.
Cave feeling in a couple of places. That was in the bed, and that's a really nice little area for you to lie down at the end of a journey.
It's kind of like a hab almost, like the way it kind of is embedded into the wall. Still comfortable though, I can assure you.
It's a lot warmer, a lot more inviting. Yet, through its materials, it still feels like a bit alien. On your left, you've got a bathroom.
You're talking to Lloyd about the bathroom, right?
The bathroom is, you could say complicated. I would say
complicated,
amazing in terms of design. It's definitely over-engineered.
The first thing you will notice is this silver sink almost on the left-hand side.
Is that a urinal?
Which will serve 2 purposes if you know a little bit about Xi'an lore. So, Xi'an poop a little bit differently to humans, so They use that. We use our toilet. The whole door breaks into a load of pieces. The toilet roll holder.
Oh, that's what.
assembles
Oh, I love the
itself.
way
With
the
the most elaborate animation
love the way the
I
bog
think
roll
that's ever
comes
been
out.
put into a video game for toilets.
And again, it was just sort of a show of what's trivial to them is like
That's
elegance
fucking-
and,
that's
high-class
awesome, bro.
design to us. It was just a nice little feature. We wanted to incorporate that sort of how they would live if they were on the ship and how humans would live on the ship.
That's awesome.
As you go up into the cockpit, you then have a full open space.
What I like to call the
I thought he said
cathedral.
there was cargo space.
The
Where
light
does the cargo
cascades
go?
down and you see the seat presented to you almost like an altar.
The chair
You
is so
enter the seat
fucking
and
sick.
You float up on your back, almost like you're about to launch into space on a rocket. And
What?
this massive mechanism of plates assemble behind you using Gravtech to hold your seat in place. Really makes you feel like a badass just before you take off.
What?
One of the best experiences in the ship is when you sit in that pilot seat and it kind of transforms and the ship moves around you to kind of put you up into position within the canopy.
Why
With
do I
most
have a
arships,
feeling
you
this ship is
sit
gonna be like $1
horizontal to
million?
the gravity plane, whereas with this, you're sat on your back, kind of facing straight up to the stars.
The world is a completely different angle, and it gives a completely different feel to the ship.
For the art team, the vertical takeoff was great. It was one of the things that we were like super keen
Yeah,
on
but
getting in from
I
the
thought
very
he said
start.
that there
It
was room
may
for
have caused a
cargo.
few headaches for some of
I'm
the
not worried
departments
about
that
cargo,
we
I'm just
worked with.
wondering if
There was
they're-
quite a few people that kind of doubted whether or not it was going to function.
Oh my
But
lord,
visually,
bro,
it gives
it's
such a nice
so
sort of silhouette of the ship.
cool.
No, I like the fact that we were applying very traditional technology in space
I love the
exploration to
purple, bro.
something so advanced.
2
Flying
screens.
it is one of those
not too
things.
bad.
The first time you take
Kinda
off in
reminds
it,
me of a
your brain has
Scorpius.
to do a bit of recalibration compared to every other ship in the game.
If you look at the stars, you will see them going from up to down and
Give me
not
one
from left
sec.
to right.
I'll finish this video. I'll watch the next one.
Just that you land and take off essentially 90 degrees to what you are adjusted to. If you throttle forwards, you go up, but that's the direction the ship is pointed.
I'm not mad
Obviously,
about
Xi'an
it.
use
Really.
Gravtech quite a lot.
Yeah,
and we
I'm-
want to make sure we leverage that as much as
I'm pretty
possible.
happy that it's
However,
like
for
a
things
starter
such as wings
explorer.
and thrusters, I think it's really important that
It
we
looks
keep that to a minimum.
so
if something's
good.
heavy, like we can't rely on gravity to keep it on.
It has probably the most amount of maneuvering thrusters I think of a ship of this size, 24.
Oh
That is
my
simply
God, it
to
looks
make
so
one of the
good.
most agile starter ships in the game, and to cover the required maneuvering angles on a ship when it transforms. So once you've taken off and you retract the landing gear, then the ship transforms slightly into a more expanded state. The 3 main thrusters change angle, the wings change angle, and then this requires the maneuvering thrusters to sort of compensate for that. So the amount of thrusters the ship has allows it to be pretty
looks so
agile, regardless
fucking
of state, regardless of atmosphere or space.
I know it's a starter
Oh, I
ship,
prefer the
but there's
vertical
no
takeoff
way it's a
compared to
cheap
the normal.
ship.
It's just a completely different feel.
It's gonna
and
cost
you
at
can
least
land in
500
tighter spaces.
My favourite part of the
macaronis.
ship is definitely the way it transforms out of landing mode into deployed. All of the wings fold back, so the landing gear is actually built into the edges of each of the wings. At night, it's even cooler. All of the headlights
150,
move
you reckon?
around because they're all
Is that
animated
announced?
on part of the wing, and so does the
want it
light
so
pop
bad,
out
though.
of the end of the landing gear, which lights up those big pieces.
Landing it requires a little bit of adjustment compared to traditional flight in Star Citizen. You deploy your landing gear as you would, the ship transforms, the landing gear comes down. But instead of landing on your belly, you essentially land on your behind.
It kind of gives the
wonder
nod back to some of our classic kind of
I wonder how that's gonna go.
modern day space shuttles.
It's gonna be a
but
weird
it
landing,
kind of
that
gives
thing.
a real unique experience on takeoff and landing.
It takes a little bit of getting used to, but the payoff is just the way the ship flies and the silhouette of it and just the unique feeling, making it feel really alien compared to our other ships.
See, I don't think, like, I don't know, man. I don't want it to be an expensive ship. I think there should be kind of I think, if I had to guess, like, honestly, if I really had to guess, knowing, like, right now, what it can do, it just seems like a really cool explorer, fucking fast ship. Like, it's got, what was it, 3 size 3s? If I had to guess, I reckon it would be roughly $80-ish, maybe a bit more. I don't know. But because it's alien, it could be fucking, you know how alien chips are, bro? It could be fucking, it honestly could just be like $1,000. I'm gonna guess
So being the first
85.
ship
Yeah,
from,
I reckon like roughly in the, I want to say 70 to 85-ish range.
Gatac that people were going to see in game. For me, it was really important that it had a real.
Yeah, no, I'm just
impact
joking.
on
I
the
don't
player.
think it'll be
I think
actually
players
five.
will appreciate the
I don't
fact
think
of
anyone
how
would
much
buy
you
it for
managed to fit into
$500.
such a small platform.
So the Syulen is pitched as a
I
starter
love
ship,
the
but it sort
lights
of
around
goes
it, bro.
beyond some of our other starter ships. It has a lot of onboard living, so it allows you to do a little bit of exploration, a little
Guess
bit
the
of
price.
pathfinding. It's not as good as dedicated explorers or pathfinders, but it is sort of better than other starters. In
All right, well, you know
the
what?
big unique
I'm gonna put my guess at 85, mate.
factor of the
Lock it
Syulen
in.
is simply the visual style being an alien ship.
Oh, it
I
looks
think
so
we've not had
cool.
very many opportunities to really show off what we can do with our alien races yet, and so this for us was a real opportunity to really distinguish that ship from our more human manufacturers.
The overall feel of the ship is.
It looks
far,
like it spins
far
really
different
well.
to any other that came before it.
We tried to build a bit of mystery on how this thing works. It was quite exciting.
He's
to,
not streaming yet.
Try something different from
Is
the
he?
usual way we did spaceships.
No,
The
no, you're not
concept
streaming
is
yet.
completely striking, unlike anything I'd seen. Obviously, being a fan of vehicles full stop, regardless of whether they're a spaceship, ground vehicle, real or fictional, seeing this was unlike anything I'd ever experienced before, and I was
I know
desperate
it's
be
not
part of the
meant to be a
construction of it.
fighter, but I think it
Compared to
might
other
do all right.
starships, This is something
I don't know how weak it
entirely
is, though.
different, both flight and visual, and that sort of sets it apart from the others. If you just don't want to be run-of-the-mill Star Citizen player, then the Syulen is for you.
The real question is, can it fit in a Corsair? I'm joking. I'm joking. Obviously it can't. Thing's fucking huge.